I was looking for a news article today, and I was like, okay, well, let me just look on Salty, and they had a motherhood section.
Yeah.
So I know it's a long one, but I got the brunt of what I really found interesting.
I'm so glad. So we don't have to listen to you read it?
Bitch. So it's
okay,
called,
let's get a summary.
The headline, and I wanted to ask this because Michelle has kids.
Oh, you do have kids now.
I have 2.
Oh, girl,
and
you
she's
active.
pregnant, by the way. Nice.
You active.
I'm pregnant now.
Okay.
Why you should buy a sex toy for your teen,
Ooh.
okay? What if we taught our children from the beginning to not seek out relief of these sexual desires in other people, but teach them something that they can relieve themselves? Studies have shown that kids that are educated about masturbation and do it more confident with their own bodies and sexuality are... Fuck, man. I didn't want to mess it up, but I
See,
did.
you already did.
It's depresh. It's the fucking presh.
What is it?
It's depresh. I don't know.
Depresh?
It's
No
the
pressure.
presh. It's
the
tens
presh.
of thousands of people are going to listen to me say a word wrong. Opposed to like when I'm just like improv and
I just said zoomy.
yeah, but like that was a hard one. Like I almost said some random shit. It's just because I know I don't want to.
Okay, so it's funny that you brought this article up though, because if you guys came to our DC live show, we
right.
brought up masturbating as teens, and if parents should punish their children if they caught them masturbating, or if we should encourage. If we should encourage them,
vanilla
right?
shit in DC was a woman wanting to teach masturbation for ages 8 to 13.
Yeah.
And then our audience started talking.
audience was start-
yeah. They said most of them said they wouldn't punish. I think all of them said they wouldn't punish, but the headline for this shit is like normalizing sexuality in subtle ways. Picking a toy for them can be awkward, but they're basically saying you pick it and keep the conversation going. And they're saying like instead of it says imagine a kid, Billy, who wanted to experiment with harmless ass play. If he had a small plug to use on himself, he could have avoided that ER trip with a Sharpie stuck in his butt.
Okay, so here's my thing, and I think this is why I even said there was a slight argument in people not wanting to explore this. I shared a story about a friend of mine who caught her younger daughter, her daughter is 13 or 14, reading erotic novels, and she went immediately to take away her laptop, take away her phone, and like, oh my God, you should not be reading this. Mm-hmm. And instead of having that sex conversation to where if she's being aroused this way,
she blocked it out.
This is an opening to where you guys can have the conversation, whether she's masturbating to it, whether, this is what's arousing her. At least she's not maybe playing with the boys yet. Like, this would have been a conversation to open.
Like, I've Googled like people kissing or girls kissing or things like that. One of my friends, I might have said it on this podcast before, but close friend of mine says her daughter, she caught her masturbating and she let her know it was okay because the daughter was locking the door. Because she was like,
oh, bitch, I locked my door too. You ain't walking in. You're not ruining.
I mean, ain't no locked doors in a black house. So the daughter had to explain, right?
Wait, the daughter just said, Mom, I'm locking my door because I'm playing with my pussy?
No, she didn't. So she kept saying, like, why the fuck is your door locked? And then she told her mom. So then she says some shit like, now this little bitch is getting it overboard, talking about, I'm stressed. I need to lock my door.
That is... yeah, that's funny.
I mean, I get it. So it says, if you can't do it in person and have a talk about masturbation or a toy, it's okay to leave the toy on their bed with a note saying, you're going through a lot of changes.
Bruh. I wish my mama
This will help you explore your body
made me feel
and get to know yourself. It's totally normal. Don't be embarrassed.
Nah, bro.
I'm here to talk about it if you want or if not.
No.
Nah, bro, that's not a solution. I don't like that one.
Then it says
my mom
a week
did that,
later,
like,
if you can,
Tammy.
prompt them and ask them if they got the gift and if they have any questions. We live in a different era than our parents did, and we can't be as passive and absent-minded about education on sex.
So here's another thing that I would think of. If we all look at our childhoods, how many times did we find our parents' toys? I feel like that's a story that a lot of people have. Without meaning to come across the dildo, mom,
I was looking for money.
Right. So
my crazy thing is
that
like,
could be the
my mom has 7 kids, right? So you think that she'll be fucking a lot. I literally, I had this conversation with my husband the other day. I'm like, I have no memory of, hearing my mom fucking, finding anything. Like, she was so secretive. And the other day I asked her, I'm like, how did you do it? And she's like, oh, I just waited for you guys to go to sleep. And I'm like, yeah, I know. But, how the fuck did I not hear it? Because I'm the oldest. And
I've never heard it, but I did walk into my mom
I never walked in.
That was awkward.
And I'm like... Thank God for that. But
Have you ever walked in on your mom?
No, but I definitely heard. My mom is a moaner. She's so extra. So
Wait,
I definitely
so
heard
maybe
my mom.
was like the
And
man of the relationship,
I'd be
and
like,
she wouldn't
oh,
moan. Like she'll just be like,
Mom,
quiet
we
the
need
whole
carpet.
time.
I don't like the tile floors anymore. That
Wait,
shit would travel.
Have your kids heard you? How old are you kids?
Well, my daughter's 8 and my son is 2.
Okay.
So right now, what we're going through is like they still sleep in my bed. So we're
What?
just like, yeah, no judging, please.
Wow.
So they
My
still
mom
sleep
was
in
ready
my
for us to get
bed.
out.
I slept in my mom's room,
And the thing is like now we're like teenagers and we like sneak around to fuck. So we're like, okay, meet me downstairs in the living room,
Damn, that's
or
how you got
like,
pregnant.
or meet me here, meet me there, and it's just like, so we kind of like cover it up. But I feel
Okay.
like my daughter's like kind of like oblivious to it still.
'Cause she's 2, right?
She's 9.
She's eight.
She's,
Oh,
well,
she's
she's
the-
going on 9.
She's the one going on 9.
But she's like, so now my husband's like, oh, maybe we gotta like no more like morning sex, or you know, because like now she's like, she'll send my son upstairs like, oh, go see what they're doing.
Now let me ask you: at 9, with social media, because at 9 I didn't have the access to phones and
Right.
TV and porn, like not to the extent that
Right.
it is now. Do you feel like at 9 that conversation about sex or sex toys would happen, or at what age do you think that's going to happen in this era, in this age?
Right now, I kind of test the waters with her. Like, I'm very open with her. Like, she knows I'm a doula. She knows that babies come out of vaginas. Like, she
Okay.
knows, like, you know,
That's
Not the
cool.
stewardess.
like, you know, like we don't
Is it
the
a
bird, but the What-
Not a
no,
surrogate.
no, no.
Stork?
The bird.
Is that what it's called? The stork?
She said the stewardess. I'm like,
What's a stewardess?
So now I know that's the flight attendant.
Yo, for
You know
those
what?
of y'all that
Stop
said
it.
we
I'm tired,
bait Mandii
bitch.
into the-
So listen, I'm coming from work. I went out last night. I had company. So then we was cuddling all night. We was cuddling this morning. Like,
What'd you do
bro,
last
I'm
night,
tired. Oh, I was just drinking. We drank a lot. Went to Dumbo
Who is that
House.
nigga?
So K Camp and Genius were in town, rappers. So
Okay.
met them at the studio. Then we went to PhD. Then we went to Dumbo House. Then we went to another bar. We like bar hopped all night. Nigga, I was in Brooklyn. That's how you know I was out late.
So who was your company?
That's what you're not gonna be all up in my business about. He was,
It's
nice.
not
He
me,
was
it's
a
the
friend.
people.
He was a friend, and we had a nice cuddle session. So I was up late, bitch.
Did you cuddle something into your mouth?
No, it was only cuddling. Thank you. Thank
Well,
you very
just
much.
saying, there's a big old belly right there. It's fat.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't happen with me.
no.
And
So-
now I don't know. I get really weird looks. So Adam and Eve like sent us a whole bunch of like condoms.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have like mad options. And let me tell you the embarrassing part real quick. This is an embarrassing part of the story, and I felt like a whore. So we get to the house, and I take a shower because I went to work. Then like we were out everywhere in all these clubs. So I go to take a shower, and I put my winter robe on, like this like furry robe that I have from Victoria's Secret. So we get in the bed, and he goes to cuddle with me, and my robe has pockets. There was fucking condoms in the pockets. I must have left them in there when Lawyer Bay came over like a month and a half ago.
man.
And so he's like, oh, you came to the bed ready. I said I sure did not. I don't know what those are doing in there, and threw them across the room. But it was so embarrassing because I'm like, oh, he must think I'm a whore. There's just condoms ready in my robe.
That's what made you feel like a whore?
Yo,
Wait. Sorry.
I was like, fuck.
I think the bigger issue is
What?
how fucking cheesy. I'm trying to imagine you're watching TV in your robe and suddenly
And
you're
he's-
like,
It just like slips out.
So no. When Lawyer Bay came over, I like because we were already laying in bed. So I hate the awkward. You got a condom? Yeah, let me get up and go get it. Drawers halfway hanging off, or dick is out already, and now we got to go find a condom. So I'd normally like either put it in my pillowcase, or in that case, it was in my robe. But so this was for another nigga, and he found it and thought I came to the bed ready for him, and I was like, no. Damn, well, how did those get in there?
It was like,
Oh, he was ready, bitch. I was like, no, we're cuddling.
yo, I'm trying to slide I hope so into every podcast here forward. I'm like making a commitment that I just get to say that.
man.
I talk like Kodak Black so much, the white people at my job think it's like a thing I do, and I'm like, no. They just think I'm like, oh, your voice is hilarious. I'm like, no, that's not me.